Hey everyone, welcome back to Limit Breaker Fitness. Monty here again. Today we're going to do another episode of our Muscles in Motion series. Now, if you don't know, every episode in this series, I go over a muscle or group of muscles, and we talk about the anatomy, we talk about the function, and we talk about how best to train them. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the forearm flexors. Now, the forearm flexors are a group of muscles located on the inside of the forearm here. Technically speaking, these are the anterior muscles of the forearm. That's because whenever we're talking about the human body, we refer to it in the position where it's standing straight up with the palms facing outward. Anything in the front here is referred to as anterior. And since the palms are facing outward, these are the anterior muscles. Now, if you take a look at the diagram here, you'll see that there's several different muscles involved in the forearms here. And for our purposes, it's not really important that we know each and every single one of them, which is why I never even bothered to memorize them, to be honest with you. What we do need to look at is the anatomy in the diagram, though. If you take a look, you'll see that the muscles all connect in different fingers in our hand. They run all the way down the forearm, and they connect into the elbow on the inside position here. Now, what's really cool is you can take your hand and move your fingers individually, and you'll be able to feel different parts of your forearm contracting. That's kind of the proof that there's different connection points. Now, I don't know if you can see it in the camera here, but I'll try and show you on mine. See how a little bit on that inside there, that's contracting. Now I go on the outside here. It's a little different. I don't know, it's a little hard to tell on the camera here, but try it at home. Just put your hand there and move your fingers individually. You'll see that there's different muscles being involved. Now, not only do these muscles work to move our fingers, they also do two other things. The first thing is they flex our wrist, hence the name, the wrist flexors. They take the wrist and they bend it inward. The second thing that they do is they're the reason why we have a strong or a weak grip. So go ahead, make a fist, squeeze as hard as you can. You should feel the forearm muscles here contracting very tightly. Those are the muscles responsible for our grip, our forearm flexors. So we know what these muscles do. So the way we train them is to add load to their function. Now, in order to train our grip strength, one of my favorite things to do is a suitcase carry. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to grab my dumbbell. Now, with the suitcase carry, all I'm going to do is I'm going to have my arms straight. I'm going to stand up, good posture. We'll just get a side view here. And I'm going to squeeze the crap out of this dumbbell. Now, as I'm squeezing the crap out of this dumbbell, I just want to walk slowly forward. And as I'm walking, I'm trying to maintain alignment between my shoulders, my hips, my knees, my ankles. And this is going to take your forearm and it's going to burn. The bigger the dumbbell, the harder it's going to be, the more you're going to have to squeeze. And as a bonus, this is also a great exercise for our core, which I talk about in my suitcase carry shorts video that I will link in the description. But the longer you hold this and the more you walk, the more it's going to put a stress on your forearm here. Now, you can use one of those grippers. I'll put a picture of one up here, and that'll work really well. But do you really want to buy a bunch of different little gadgets for one thing? Try the suitcase carry. Now, this is only about 32 pounds for demonstration purposes, but as you start moving up the rack, you'll see that it's going to get harder and harder. And it's really important that we develop this grip strength because that's going to translate over to all of our pulling motions, like our pull-ups or our lat pull-downs, our rows, our deadlifts. So quite often people find themselves limited in these exercises because the forearms are weak, because these flexors are weak. Now, the second thing that they do, remember, is they curl the wrist up. So how are we going to train this function? Well, we're going to go ahead and do a wrist curl. And to do a wrist curl, we're going to first get on our bench here. Give me a second. I will readjust the camera so you have a better view, and then we'll get back to it. Okay, guys, we're here to do our wrist curl. Now, what we're going to do is grab our dumbbell, and we're going to lay our forearm onto the bench. By using the bench to support our forearm, we're going to be able to take our bicep and our body out of the equation. That way we can put all the tension on the forearm flexors here and not have to worry about, cheating in any way. Now, we're going to go ahead and grab our dumbbell. Now, this is only 8 pounds, and you'll find that you'll probably can do a little more than this, but this is for demonstration. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let our wrist come all the way down, and we're going to open up our fingers to the point just before that dumbbell wants to fall off. Keep in mind, these forearm muscles connect all the way down into the fingers. So by opening up the hand, we're able to go through the full range of motion. So now what I'm going to do is first start by curling our fingers up, squeezing my dumbbell, and then curling the wrist all the way up. And I'm going to look to try and take the pinky kind of a little bit to the side. A bit of supination there, turning the palm. And that'll bring a full contraction on those forearm flexors. So now I'm just going to go ahead and repeat this for reps. So all the way down, all the way up, and all the way down, and all the way up. Now you can do this with the dumbbell, or you can grab a barbell and you can do it with 2 of them. So if you haven't been doing this exercise or you haven't been doing the suitcase carry, go ahead, start incorporating them into your routine, and you're going to find that your grip strength will improve. And if that's been a weak point for you with your deadlift, squats, bench press, whatever it is, then you'll probably see an improvement in those exercises as well. That's all I have for you today, guys. Please, if you found the video helpful, be sure to like it, share it, subscribe to the channel. That really helps me with the algorithm, and it helps to get this information out to other people. Also, don't forget to follow me on IG, Limit Breaker Food and Fitness. And also, if you want a free program that takes all these concepts and incorporates them in to get you started, you can grab my beginner program. That'll be linked down in the description. Or if you want to work directly with me, that link will be down there as well, probably in the pinned comment, actually. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.